When the temperature outside plummets and the power suddenly cuts out, your home can go from a sanctuary to a survival situation in a heartbeat. So the big question is, how do you handle it? Well, we're about to walk through a fantastic guide from the advisory organization Virtualization Options LLC. They've laid out exactly what you need to do to prepare for, get through, and recover from a winter power outage.
And look, the stakes here could not be higher. We're talking billions with a B in damages every single year from winter storms, and that's according to the Department of Energy. A huge chunk of that is from stuff that's totally preventable, like burst pipes and electrical surges. So getting prepared isn't just about being comfortable, it's about protecting what's probably your biggest investment, your home.
But honestly, the financial cost, that's nothing compared to the human cost. Think about it. A summer outage is annoying, right? It's hot, it's inconvenient, but a winter outage, that's a whole different beast. When your heat source is gone, the temperature inside your house can drop to dangerous levels, and it happens fast. This isn't just a drill, this is about keeping you and your family safe.
So how do we fight back against the cold? Well, it all starts way before the first snowflake even thinks about falling. Let's dive into our first section, preparation, because this right here is where you win the battle.
To prepare right, you've got to know your enemy. And in this case, the enemy is heat loss. You can think of heat like a little fugitive, always looking for a way to escape. And its biggest escape route? Your roof and attic. That's about 30% of your heat just flying away. Windows, doors, and walls are right behind it. Knowing this is so critical because it tells you exactly where to focus your energy.
And of course, every home is different, right? If you're in an apartment, you might be dealing with shared heating and weird building rules. But hey, you get some free insulation from your neighbors. In a single-family home, you've got more control, but you've also got way more exposure. More walls, more pipes, and you might be more isolated. The point is, you have to know the battlefield you're on. Okay, so what gives you the most bang for your buck? It's these 4 things right here. These are the highest impact, cheapest things you can do. Sealing up those drafty windows with some caulk or plastic film. Adding weather stripping or a door sweep to your front and back doors. And here's a sneaky one. Putting little foam gaskets behind the outlets on your outside walls. Cold air loves to creep in there. And finally, just taking a peek in your attic to make sure the insulation is doing its job.
And the payoff for all that prep work? It's huge. Cutting your heating needs by up to 30% is an absolute game changer during an outage. It means your home stays warmer for longer. What you're really doing is buying yourself precious time, hours, maybe even days of safety.
All right, so you've done all the prep work, but now the storm hits. The lights flicker, and they're gone. The next phase starts right now, and believe me, what you do in these first 30 minutes can set the tone for the entire outage.
This is your immediate action checklist. First up, assess. Is it just your house or is the whole neighborhood dark? Second, protect your gear. Unplug your computers, your TV, anything sensitive. This will save them from a power surge when the grid comes back on. Third, it's time to execute that heat plan. Close the doors to rooms you're not using, stuff towels under doors, trap that warmth. And finally, and this is the most important one, check on the vulnerable people in your home. Your kids, elderly parents, anyone with medical issues. Okay, you've gotten through that initial shock. Now the real marathon begins, staying safe and warm for who knows how long. This part is all about dealing with the 2 biggest threats that pop up during a long winter outage, the cold itself and the dangers that come from trying to heat your home the wrong way. Let's start with the most insidious danger, mostly because you can't see it, you can't smell it, and you can't taste it. I'm talking about carbon monoxide. Anytime you burn fuel, this gas is produced. Now, normally it's not a problem, but inside a home that's all sealed up to keep the cold out, it can be an absolute death sentence. The researchers at Virtualization Options LLC are incredibly clear on this. Battery-powered CO detectors are not optional. They are essential.
Okay, I need you to really listen here, because this slide is non-negotiable. It's life or death. Let's be crystal clear about what you should never, ever bring inside for heat. Your gas oven? It's for cooking pizza, not heating your house. Charcoal grills and those little camp stoves, they stay outside. And I really cannot say this loudly enough. Never, ever run a generator inside. Not in the house, not in the garage, not even on a covered porch. These are common mistakes that end in tragedy every single year.
If you only remember one number from this entire explainer, please make it this one, 20 feet. That is the bare minimum safe distance your generator needs to be from your house. Not 19 feet, 20. And make sure that exhaust is pointing away from the building. It's a simple rule, but it's the one that prevents deadly carbon monoxide from sneaking back inside your home.
So, the other big threat to your home is a burst pipe. If you turn on a faucet and just a trickle or nothing comes out, you might have a frozen pipe. So what do? Okay, first thing, find your main water valve and shut it off. That'll prevent a massive flood. Then, go back and open the frozen faucet all the way to relieve pressure. Now, gently, and I mean gently, apply heat with something like a hairdryer or a heating pad. Never, ever use an open flame. Start at the faucet and work your way back towards the blockage. Taking these steps can save you from thousands in water damage.
And then, finally, after hours, maybe even days, you hear it, that familiar hum. The lights flicker back on, the outage is over, but you are not done yet. The recovery phase is just as important for making sure you're safe now and even more prepared for the next time.
When that power comes back, resist the urge to just plug everything back in at once. The grid can be a little shaky at first, and power surges can absolutely fry your expensive electronics. So the key here is patience. Just wait 10-15 minutes for things to stabilize. Do a quick walk around, check for any leaks or damage that happened during the outage. Then you can start plugging your big appliances back in, one by one. Give the system a minute to adjust each time.
You know, a power outage is the ultimate field test for your emergency plan. So once everything is back to normal, it's time for a little debrief. Take inventory. What supplies did you run out of? Restock them. What part of your plan just completely fell apart? Fix it. What did you wish you had? Go get it. And hey, don't forget to check on your neighbors. Community resilience is a huge deal. Use this experience to get smarter and stronger for the next one.
When you boil it all down, everything we've just talked about comes back to this one timeless piece of wisdom. An emergency is not the time to start Googling what to do. The work you put in beforehand, that's what decides the outcome. Preparation is you actively deciding not to be a victim of circumstance.
You know, the most valuable resource you have in an emergency isn't a fancy generator or a mountain of food. It's knowledge, combined with a calm, prepared mind. We've covered a lot today, from weatherproofing your home to the 20-foot rule. So as we wrap up, I'm going to leave you with this question to really act on. What is the one, single, tangible thing you will do today to make your home and your family safer this winter?